Florida Democratic governor candidate does gymnastics trying to avoid admitting he plans to raise taxes, by Virginia Kruta, associate editor for the Daily Caller. Florida gubernatorial candidate Andrew Gillum shot onto the national stage when he achieved an upset victory in the Democratic primary last Tuesday. On CNN's State of the Union Sunday, he talked policy with guest host Dana Bash and appeared to have a difficult time admitting that his health care plan would involve a tax hike for at least some Florida residents. Bash had to make several attempts to get Gillum to finally come around and admit that he had run on a platform of increased taxes for corporations in Florida, which would trickle down to the people.
We are, and frankly, I'd like to see those kinds of strategies scaled up all around the state of Florida.
Let's move on to healthcare. You mentioned that you support Medicare for all. A study earlier this summer from George Mason University estimates that Medicare for all, that plan, would cost the government $33 trillion, with a T, dollars, over the next decade, which obviously would require a significant tax increase. Florida has a reputation, as you know, for being a tax-averse state. Are you ready to tell the people of Florida that they need to pay a lot more in taxes to fund your health care plan?
Well, let me first say there was also a report, Dana, that showed that should we move to cover more people through a Medicare for all system, we could actually save the system trillions over an extended period of time.
You could, but in the short term, in order to do that, you need to raise taxes. Fair?
So what I would say is, first of all, and I want to be clear about this, the state of Florida could not take this road by itself. We would need to do it as part of a federation of other states coming together. Think of Florida, New York, California,
but
and
sir,
a few of the other larger states.
Taxes would have to be raised. Is that fair? Do you agree with that?
I don't buy that. So let me just say,
how do you do that? How do you find that kind of money for the government without raising taxes?
So first I'd say, one, Florida could not do it by itself. But secondly, we have the opportunity to expand Medicaid for over 700,000 of the most medically needy people here in the state of Florida. My governor and legislature refused to do that. Do you know it costs us about $6 billion in money that should have come from the federal government to the state of Florida that we never received? And so I'm simply saying, and this I want to be clear, Dana, this is very personal to me. I remember growing up as a kid having to wait for the mobile dental clinic to come through the neighborhood in order to have my teeth cleaned.
Yeah, I know. I know you have experiences, and you're coming from a real place, a personal place, in supporting this. But as a government official, you have to make it work, and you have to make the numbers work. And so I still don't understand how you would do it without raising taxes.
So the first step we would take is expand Medicaid and pull down about $6 billion a year from the federal government. That's important.
Still not answering.
Secondly, as governor of the state of Florida, I would work to bring a number of the largest states into a conversation around how it is together we might be able to negotiate prices and access to health care to cover more people and ensure that even those of us who are insured, who are right now paying premium increases year over year over year, all because Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump have worked overtime to make access to health care less affordable.
Will you say that you will not support raising taxes to make your health care plan work?
I will absolutely not raise taxes on everyday working Floridians to give access to additional
What about wealthier people?
So what I said, and I ran on this, by the way, is that we will increase taxes for corporations in our state who right now, just so you're aware, only 3% of companies in the state of Florida pay the corporate tax rate, 3%. And that 3% under the Donald Trump tax scam got a windfall of $6.3 billion overnight due to the tax reform that took place in Washington, D.C. We're not asking for all of it. We simply said we believe that we ought to bring $1 billion of that money back into the state's government because being a cheap date state has not worked for the state of Florida. And unfortunately, we've got to do that if we're going to be a leading state.
One more issue we spent a lot of time understanding.
Well, they say they're going to raise corporate taxes. So what are the corporations going to do? Move away. Do you see what I'm saying? It just doesn't work that way. You have to bring, so the people are going to pay anyway. If the corporations leave, the jobs leave. So then you're going to have unemployed people there. How are you going to pay for it? You see, this is a Soros protege, mind you. That's why he's probably been taking lessons from Soros, not answering questions. You know, the Democrats have a tendency of not being straightforward with their answers. And I got news for you. He's not just going to tax the corporations. He's going to tax the people too, but he just avoided everything. If it was just the corporations, like he said at the end, yeah, he would have probably said it in the beginning. But I got news for you. This will never work. And notice how he said it needs to be done with the help of other states. So in other words, even if he did raise Florida's corporate tax, it still wouldn't cover what he's talking about. So we got to get New York in there, California, and everything else. Come on now. These Democrats have no idea what they're talking about. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.